YouTube, Alan Victoria Sells Home. Today we wanted to talk about the very exciting topic, purchasing of the townhouse versus the condo, and of course pros and cons that comes associated with each of them. But what is important that we were discussing with my wife, the future, your future plan, your budget is important and comes to the package that you can see what is the right fit for you.
Right, so first like and subscribe our channel, and now let's start into what we're talking about.
Talking about the first item. Which is the ownership. Exactly.
Okay, so with ownership, we're talking that you own either your unit or you own like kind of like a house, but you might have a neighbor. There is a difference between a condo, whereas it might look more like an apartment style building, but it's not a condo and not an apartment because you own it, so there's no landlord telling you what you can and cannot do. There is an HOA, which we're going to talk about later. A townhome is slightly a little different. Townhome is more like a house, but it's not a house entirely because you do have closer neighbors. And either way, these amenities that come with owning is still there with these things. There's a pool typically, or a gym, or they're typically close to something great. And also tends to come with security as well. So there's like a security officer that you're paying with your HOA fees, which before we get into HOAs, is there anything other benefits of these ownerships that is great because it might fit with your life?
Therefore, in summary, we wanted to say the condo, you're part of a big picture and you own your unit, but you don't own the land. Versus the townhouse, you own the building and also the land over that unit. That is the difference that we wanted to mention. The second thing that we wanted to talk about is what?
The HOAs. Now, building on what he just said, the HOA structure is a little different for each. HOA is your homeowners association, which has a monthly fee to it. Typically in a townhome, it's a little cheaper for your HOA than a condo. A condo is, again, you're paying for a security officer. When we lived in our condo, we had like someone downstairs to collect the mail and then give it to us. And they didn't let anybody into the building unless they were guests of the resident. A townhome is going to be more like open space, and a little bit you're still going to get security maybe, but it's not going to be as tightly controlled. Another great thing about HOAs, so with the townhome, is it is lower though. So you are going to get these amenities and you are kind of living in like a house, but it's not, because you do have some sort of commonalities with other people, whereas a condo, it is more your traditional apartment, but it's not an apartment because, again, everybody there owns. And also you can be part of the HOA itself. I wouldn't, but you can. And then therefore you can have even more say in what is going on monthly.
And the point that I wanted to also add, the strictness of the HOA rules depends on exactly the community they are living, how old they are, how the new build, and all those fun things that comes to therefore it's not just a strict one thing. And you can see, as my wife said, one of them is actually has higher because you need to take care of all these little things for all the residents, the common area.
Oh, I want to quickly add before we move on with HOA. When we first lived in a condo, what was amazing about this HOA is anything that broke inside of our apartment as well. The refrigerator didn't break. Something was broken, the HOA actually included all of fixing. So I would just call and they would fix everything. And that was quite lovely too. I didn't have to really worry about fixing things. So that was great.
Yeah, that was super great. And I agree with that. We had in a blink of an hour could call and make an appointment and they come and fix it for you.
Yes.
And what is the third one that we wanted to talk about?
I think we wanted to talk about resale value, and I'm going to let you take the lead with math because he is the math guy in our house.
Therefore, resale value, we wanted to talk about that both of them actually has the potential that you can rent it, as an investment. But about the resale value, we can say about the condo, it has a slower growth of the increase of the price, basically for your investment. And also, as we said, part of it is because you don't own the land in the condo versus the townhouse. You own the basically the land and the structure over it. And in reality, nobody can actually predict what is the resale value is going to be for you and your loved one in the next, for example, 5 years. Depends on lots of factors. For example, if the market is a buyer market or is a seller market, that is so important that you understand that nobody can give you a guarantee that the price is going to be such and such in the next 2 years.
Oh, speaking of pricing, before we move on, I want to also kind of throw in for financing, because we did not originally live in North Carolina. We lived somewhere else, and the rules were very strict with condos and townhomes versus less strict with homes. Whereas here in North Carolina, it's not so much. So it just depends on the area in which you are. I just wanted to kind of throw that out there. Anything else before we move on to the next topic?
Yes, that is super important that you need to know. As I said before, the rules depends on also state by state is different, and it could be less strict actually in Greenville,
absolutely,
North Carolina, respect to Florida that we lived before in Miami.
Another thing we want to talk about kind of more for disadvantages for these type of things versus a home. I do want to say your freedoms are more limited, so I can't, I'm not going to scream as loud as you want to if you are in a condo, because people can hear you. You're living next door to people, and if that's like you're a loud person, then maybe a condo or a townhome is not for you. What's another one?
And also, if you compare it to townhouse always you have a shared wall with the next neighbor, like the neighbor next door on the either side. It could be one side or either side. That is still, you don't have enough privacy,
Right.
But it's maybe more privacy respect to the condos.
This is true. Another one I'm going to mention, though, is parking for condos and townhomes, because you might have a very specific, it depends on the association. Maybe some of them are open entirely and anybody can come and you can just park wherever. Some of them are very strict to where you get, this is your spot 102 and this is all you can park, and you can only have this many guests over, and you can't have any moving things. You can't have any trucks come to deliver stuff for you between certain hours. So there could be very specific rules that you have to follow. Whereas in a house, you can do whatever you want. Anything else? Exactly.
We remember that we had also guests over for the condos in the past. Our condominium was very strict, and we were paying $10 even for the guests that they coming. Yeah. Of course, we paying it because we didn't want it to put the burden on our guests that they coming to our house. And also, as my wife said, sometimes even bringing the truck inside would be very strict. You should organize with them, with the office, with the HOA office, and that could be very painful sometimes.
Yeah, whereas you want a new couch and you're excited to have your couch, but you can only have the couch delivered between certain hours at certain times and in a certain location, to where then they have to bring it up on the elevator using the maintenance elevator. It can be dramatic. However, it is also very secure that way. So they're kind of checking everything. So if your lifestyle is on the move and on the go and you're never sure where you're going to be home, condos and townhomes are really a great investment, because you can do so much with it and you're getting your lifestyle. Anything else?
Well, we wanted to talk about also getting loan a little bit. Also, getting loan sometimes if you're for the townhouse, if you're living in an area that there are lots of townhouses, you should be very careful. You might be sometimes some issue that you wanted to hire somebody as a lender in that area. Therefore, it's also good if you can talk to the neighbor, get advice that which lender that you use that might help you down the road too for this.
It might not be. I think here we are very less strict here in Greenville, North Carolina. So if you're coming to Greenville or Winterville, we'll love to talk to you, because the rules are less strict than they were where we lived before. So anything else about the amazing things? Because it's great if your lifestyle's on the go, moving. You don't want to deal with the stuff. You don't want to go deal with your garden. You don't want to deal with the flowers. Then these are the better options for you in many ways.
Yeah, as we said, for the condos, they take care of everything around the buildings. They cut all of the grass, they trim, and also at the same spoken, we can talk about the townhouse also, that sometimes the HOA take care of the roofs in some communities, and beside that they cut the grasses and all those good stuffs, and also the exterior. Saying that, also they could be very strict in even exterior for the townhouses that you cannot paint your outside any color that you want. Those are things that you should be careful.
Okay, so I think it's in closing now. I want to say I'm kind of now missing our old townhouse condo on the beach. That was a lovely where we could walk to the beach, and we hope that this video was useful
And
to you.
then look at all of our video for this video, the first time home buyers and cost for the buyers. And thank you for watching. If you found this valuable information, please subscribe and channel, gives us thumbs up and write us comment. Thank you guys.